Hello and welcome to another special edition of Women's History Month hashtag Choose to Challenge with my special guest, Jozie Edwards. How are you doing, Jozie?
I am doing well. Thank you. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much. To our listening audience, I'm Luana Bradford, visionary and co-founder of Celebrate You, Women Embracing Wellness. And we wanted to get together a group of individuals from around the world to talk about Women's History Month and what it means to them. And we're just going to jump right in. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Jozie, to tell us a little bit about who is Jozie Edwards and what do you have going on in your world?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for having me, Luana. I sincerely appreciate this. I am Josie Edwards. Government name, Pamela J. Edwards, and that's where the Josie comes from. I'm originally from Birmingham, Alabama. I'm a transplant to Atlanta, and I've been here over 30 years, so everybody thinks I'm a Georgia peach. Nonetheless, I try to be sweet. I try. But anyway, I'm a divorced single mom of three and a Gigi to a 7-year old. I have a daughter who will be graduating from Wake Forest in May. Yes, and she's on the honor roll, Dean's List. I'm sorry, Dean's List. That's the college name for that. And I have a 14-year-old son who will be starting high school next school year. And I have a 32-year-old who is the mother to my grandson, and she works for a movie theater production company. Keeps all kinds of crazy hours. So between the four of them, they keep me extremely busy. In addition to my full-time job, I work from home. Thank you. As I am a contractor at the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. I work in the department called Chronic Disease. In addition to that, I also have a business and I sell $5 jewelry. And it's hard to believe it's only $5. And the name of my company is PJ Bling. I have gone to college and obtained my MBA, and it's in marketing, and that's where I get to use my degree in my business. I love coaching women. I love entertaining personally. I enjoy spending time networking with people and just helping people, and that just is just the right thing to do. So that's me.
I love that, and isn't it amazing? Like you said, you're able to use your degree in your business. So you have the two lanes that you're in. You're a dualpreneur, but your
Mhm.
sweet spot, where your passion and your heart
Mhm.
is with PJ Blings and all the coaching and support and
Mhm.
education that you're giving to those on your team.
Yes, absolutely.
So I know we've talked about that you have a pretty large team under you. How large is it now?
We are at 752. A
Congratulations.
year ago, thank you. A year ago, we were at 546, I believe that number was. I posted about it the other day. So I don't remember exactly, but I think we were like 556. Now we're at like 752.
And that's exciting, and that's really a testament to you and who you are because when we're rising up in a position of leadership, it's people are drawn to our energy, drawn to the values that we share, and that's what we're here to talk about as far as Women's History Month and celebrating like the work and things that you're doing because you are creating history every single day. You're touching
Mhm.
lives and creating this ripple effect around the world. And when you think about Women's History Month, Jozie, what does it
Mhm.
mean to you as we look in the past, but as we look at creating history now?
Well, looking at the past, I am enamored with C.J. Walker. Why? Because growing up in Alabama, we didn't see a lot of African American entrepreneurs or people of that nature. It's not that they didn't exist, they weren't allowed to be out in public with what they did. So she was an inspiration to me as I was growing up and learning more and more about her. So my first experience of working was at family court. when I was in school to get my associate's degree as the legal secretary. I graduated number two in my class and believe it or not, could not find a job. How is that possible? So long story short, I started working at Southern Natural Gas in Birmingham, Alabama. And while I was there, last one hired, first one fired. So I was escorted from the premises with a box of my personal effects, walking down the street to the parking deck, followed by a reporter. And it was the most humiliating experience I ever had. I remember going home telling my mom about it and how I just don't understand why people like to work and why they get to, managers or whatever, get to dictate what happens with your life. So from that point on, a switch happened mentally for me. And I've contracted. I may have had one or two real jobs along the way, but I like being a contractor. So when I'm ready to go, I'm just gone and I can do what I want to do. So this time when I leave, it is my intention to stay home and work PJ Bling's full time. But in addition to that, I did not tell you what my real heart goal is. I want to be an author. I love to write. So that's the real goal. And I believe PJ Blings is going to provide the financial freedom I need to be able to make that happen.
I love that. So you got a book, or maybe books locked up
Books.
inside you.
Mm-hmm. I do. I do.
So one of the things that we're focused on with Women's History Month, and this is women around the world, is hashtag choose to challenge. So when you think about that, and it's a pretty bold, theme for the year, what does that mean to you?
I hate to talk about myself in all honesty, but I think what attracts people to me, as you mentioned in the choose to challenge hashtag, is the fact that I am constantly challenged. My life just has not been simple. It has not been easy. And anything that I want to do, I really have to work hard to make it happen. So wasn't born with a silver spoon. We weren't the poorest of the poor, but we weren't at the top of the elite as well. So I learned the value of hard work, ethics, being a person of my word, doing what you say you're going to do, being loyal. Those are all the things that my parents instilled in me. And to this day, I still use those. I still utilize those characteristics. So in addition to that, as mentioned, I'm always challenged. So if I wanted to go back to school, it took me 20 years to get that undergrad through marriage, divorce, children, and life. And I never gave up on that goal. I continued until it was done. And then in addition to that, I had six siblings, four of which are, well, three of which are still alive, in addition to me. Two of them have associate's degrees. Two of us have bachelor's, and now I have an MBA. So I chose to continue down that path because I wanted more. So in order to have more, and in my opinion, our ancestors went through so much. Why would you just settle? Keep pushing until you can go as far as you can go. Now, I don't intend to get a PhD, and I'm okay with that. But for those who have that platform, why not use it? Why not utilize? They work so hard for us. Why not use it wisely? It just doesn't make sense if we don't. So when you're challenged, you, say for example, your car, you have four tires. If one tire is flat, do you throw the car away? No, you change that tire. So your goal doesn't change. The way to your goal might change. You will hit obstacles because success is not a straight line. The reality is this, and you have to keep going. You know what I'm saying? You have to keep going. You can't stop.
Yes.
You have to keep going if you want it. If you want it, you have to keep going.
I so love that, Jozie, because so many people, especially last year, we heard the term pivoting a lot. And it's fine to pivot if you know why, but so many, because they hit that challenged moment, they said, oops, let me let go of this dream and let me follow this bandwagon here. And now many of them are going back to what they once were doing because they realize I don't want to be over here. I don't even know what here is, right? So we have to
Exactly.
realize that there will be the ebbs and flows, but you've got to be focused. And like you said, you just keep pressing, keep pressing.
Mhm. Absolutely. Keep pressing, keep praying, and keep going. Do not give up.
I love
Until you
that.
hit that last breath, that's when it's over. As long as you're still breathing, you got to keep pressing.
Yes. So
And I
let's
think that's
talk.
what. Go ahead.
Mhm. No, go
I,
ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry to interrupt. I was just going to say that that's probably what inspires people when they read my story on my business page, because it talks about when I started the business. I was on the cusp of losing my job. I only had 2 more weeks left in my position when I started. And even though it was a struggle to get it off the ground with no money, I still stayed the course and I would not give up. And I'll be honest in saying, because I have no shame about where I came from and what I had to do to get where I am. So I learned about the pawn shop. I pawned things from my home to make sure I could buy jewelry. I braided people's hair. I did anything legal that I could do to make sure I was able to keep inventory in my home, because you never know where your superstar is going to come from. And when I had one, she was 5 levels down. Now, if I had not been where I needed to be, she could have gone on past me and I would have sat there and cried, because I knew I hadn't put in the effort to be upset with the fact that she went past me. So I refused to give up. Just refused.
I love that. And that's one of the things that, to our listening audience, sometimes you have to make some hard decisions and find creative ways, innovative ways to make your dream happen. Like you said, if you had to go to the pawn shop to take care of some things so that you could have money to do what you needed to do, so
Mm-hmm.
be it. But sometimes people are so resistant to making the change that they need to make in order to get to where they want to go.
Mm-hmm. And it starts here, Luana. It
Mm,
starts between your ears. As we say, what BS story are you feeding yourself? What are you accepting? I met a lady years ago who was a receptionist, and there's nothing wrong with being a receptionist, so don't take it that way. But I asked her as she was getting ready to retire, was that the only job she ever had at this company? And she said, yes. I said, did you ever want to do anything besides answering the phone? She said, I did, but my manager told me I was such a good employee at answering the phone that I just stayed there. And my mind just, on the inside, it exploded. Like, how did you let him talk you into that? You could have done so much more. And, you know, but different generation, people
mhm.
aren't the way we are today, and our children are far more bold than even I am. So I had to accept what she shared with me, but I kept saying in my head, there is no way I would have accepted that. I would not let him plan my future and make me stay at this desk, even if I had to leave and go somewhere else to get more. But again, different generation. It is what it is, and I'm sure she's proud of what she did. And I would just want more, and I can't let somebody else write my story. I have to write it myself. You just don't hand that pen to someone else and let them tell you what to do with your life. God gave you that life. He gave you those talents. You use what He gave you so you can do better, not only for yourself, but for generations to come and for those who follow. And if you don't have kids, for other people along the way that you can help. That's why you're here, to be a blessing to others. So, but it starts here. It's not about me.
Yes.
It's about who I can help create better for generations to come. I want it to matter that I live. When I was born, when I die, irrelevant. It's that dash. It should
Yes.
matter that you were here. And we all need to leave a legacy behind. Not debt, but something for the children, something for the future, for whomever. But at
Hmm.
the end of the day, we should just want more, and we should wake up every day saying, hey, I need to be better today than I was yesterday. I can honestly say today I feel better than I felt yesterday. day. And I believe it is because I got out there and challenged myself with that jump rope and couldn't jump for 3 jumps. But it's okay. I'm going to keep doing it until I can get to 5. And then when I get past 5, I'm going to 10. And I'm going to continue to push myself because I have to.
I love that. So let's now talk about some women who really pushed and pushed the envelope. And that was with women getting the right to vote here in the US, which was in 1920. And we know that this is actually the 101st year. So the National Association of Women wanted to extend the centennial celebration into this year. When you think about what it meant back then, and our history books only show us one group of women. They tend to overlook the African American women, the Hispanic women, the Asian women, and the Native American women who were all part of that movement, who weren't afforded the right to vote
Right.
for years later.
Right.
When you think about that and think about what it means today in casting our vote, in raising our voices for change, what does that mean to you?
As with the people in the past, and I had to have these conversations with my own children, the 2 that can vote. Your vote matters. If it didn't matter, they wouldn't be trying to stop you from casting it. That's just logic. Think about that. So with that in mind, we as women have never been revered as equals to men. We're considered helpmeets to men. It's almost like you always have to play the silent role, stay in your lane. I'm not her. I'm loud. I'm rowdy when I want to be. But for the most part, when I have something to say, I don't mind saying it. And it doesn't matter to whom it needs to be said. We have got to learn to speak up for one another. Doesn't matter about the race. If one of us is being hurt, we're all hurt.
Yes.
One band, one sound. Believe that. So one small step for one woman is a small or a giant step for all of us. Wet glass ceiling. We can go as far as we want to go. And if you don't want us in our company, it's okay. I don't have to come to your table. I can create my own now. So that's my new narrative. And that's what I share with my children. It matters. It matters. Your voice matters. Your vote matters. Your thoughts matter. Your feelings matter. Everything. You matter. For God's sake, you matter. Stop letting people tell you that you don't matter. Don't let people silence you. You have something to say. Get out there and get it said. Make it happen. By the way, thank you for pushing me. I don't think I ever told you that, Miss Luana. But I talked about you on a podcast the other day. I said, I don't know if you know this or not, but Miss Luana pushes me. And she'll go to my page and be like, oh, that's so cute. Can you put that in the page? And I'm like, just steal it like the rest of us do. I stole it. And she started laughing, right? So I said, okay, I know she's trying to make me be more present, so I'll do it. So I enjoy the little nudge because otherwise I probably wouldn't. And a lot of people probably find it difficult to believe that I really am, an introvert. I really am. I like to work behind the scenes. I like to help people. I don't have to be out in the forefront. I don't have to be in front of the camera. That kind of stuff doesn't matter to me, but I do appreciate the fact that you are nudging me out there so I can reach my destiny. And I know it has a lot to do with you. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And you've just always been a joy ever since I've met you and started following you on Facebook and that's and I think that's just, again, it's a testimony to the light that you're shining. So you never know, to our listening audience, you never know who's watching you. You never know what impact that you're making. And you never know when your paths will actually intersect. So, be aware of the book that you're putting out there for people to read. So we just have a little bit more time, and I want you to tell us, who is that woman in your life that you celebrate who has made the biggest impact on you? And then I want you to leave us with a key nugget, something powerful that you want the women to walk away with? And then lastly, how can people get a hold of you?
Okay. The most influential woman in my life is my mother, or I should say was. She's no longer with us. She passed away in 2017, right after I got that job at CDC. But the strength that I have, the fortitude to keep pushing, those are the qualities that she embedded in me. And at the time, I thought she was just being mean. You know, moms, parents sometimes can be a little, matter of
Yes.
factly with you. And with my heart being as tender as it is, I just couldn't believe she was saying the things she was saying. I'm like, whoa, that's kind of harsh. But now that I'm an adult, I get it. And that in turn has turned me into a straight talk, no chaser type person. I don't like shades of gray. I am honest for the most part. I would rather not hurt someone's feelings. So I try to be cognizant of how I deliver my messages. That's something God had to work on me with because I just don't like BS. I just really don't. So I would prefer to be honest, open, transparent, and sometimes it's to a fault to other people. Oh my God, I would never have said what you said, but that's okay. That's not your story. It's mine. So as you said, you never know who you are helping by shining a light on something that happened with you. So she is the most influential person. What was your second question? I forgot.
What key word or message do you want to leave with the listening audience?
Okay, thank you. Um, I'm a member of Celebrate You. Thank you for encouraging me to become a member. That has also taken me outside of who I normally am. It's also opened up a door for me to help people. So the word that I would use is the words that I would use are celebrate you. We as women are always, because we were trained as children with baby dolls and kitchen utensils. And I'm like, I'm not Betty Crocker. My kids would tell you I don't cook. And if I do, they think I'm dying. Something wrong with her because she in the kitchen, you know. So long story short, I'm not that girl. I didn't do well in home ec. I barely passed class. I'm like, I don't want to do this at all. I don't even know if I'll ever get married. Why are you preparing me for this? Can't you prepare me to learn how to do taxes or accounting or something, that I can take care of myself? I don't want to do this. So long story short, celebrate you. You matter. So you have to take time, put your mask on. You see, that's something else you pushed me towards too, being in Celebrate You. Learning to celebrate myself because I'm always cheering for other people. I never talk about me. I don't go all off on a tangent, but lately I've been going to massages. I've been having my nails done again. I buy new hair more often, that kind of stuff. But celebrate you. And how you can find me, if you're on Facebook, you can find my business at PJ Bling on Facebook, or you can find me, Jozie Edwards, Jozie Edwards. You can go to my website, which is www.pjblings.com. And I'm also working on my Shopify site, so I have a new one shortly. And you can find me on Instagram at PJ Bling.
Wow. This has been so great. I mean, I could talk to you all night, but unfortunately
Oh,
we're out of time. And I know that those that will be listening are going to be blessed by this. So thank you so much for your time, Jozie. I so appreciate you.
thank you for having me. It's been a blast as usual.
And to our listening audience, you have heard it here, another episode of Women's History Month, hashtag Choose the Challenge with the amazing Jozie Edwards, who is moving and shaking and making an impact in the world. If you want to get a hold of Jozie, she's giving you her information. Look her up, PJ Blings, or in Facebook, Jozie Edwards, so that you can be a part of her community and learn how you can make a difference, how you can put money in your pocket, and how you can enjoy your bling. I don't have any bling today, not too much, just but.
And you look beautiful as normal.
Thank you so much.
My
And
pleasure.
as we always say and celebrate you, love yourself, embrace yourself, and whatever you do, celebrate you. Until next time.